the kingdom of Zamunda rejoiced. Queen Josie Joffer, a vision of grace and intelligence, had captured the heart of their beloved King Jaffe. Their love story, whispered throughout the nation, was one for the ages. But beyond the romance lay a deep sense of duty. King Jaffe, a wise and compassionate ruler, sought to strengthen his nation's ties with the world. His gaze turned westward, towards the United States of America. A state visit was proposed, a chance for cultural exchange and diplomatic dialogue. The King and Queen yearned to experience the diversity and dynamism of America. However, the world beyond Zamunda's borders could be unpredictable. Security was paramount, a non-negotiable aspect of their journey. King Jaffe, ever the pragmatist, knew he needed the best protection available. His request was direct, his expectations clear. He wanted the finest agents at his disposal. The weight of this responsibility fell upon the capable shoulders of MI6, the British intelligence agency renowned for its discretion and efficacy. The very mention of MI6 conjured images of shadowy figures operating in the world's most dangerous corners, their actions veiled in secrecy. For King Jaffe and Queen Josie, these agents represented a shield against the unseen, a guarantee of their safety amidst a world of unknowns. Little did they know, their journey would test the limits of this protection, thrusting them into a whirlwind of intrigue and danger far beyond their wildest imaginations. The diplomatic journey was set into motion. The royal couple, accompanied by their trusted aides and a highly skilled security detail, embarked on this monumental trip. The anticipation was palpable, the air thick with the promise of new alliances and strengthened bonds. Every step they took, every handshake exchanged, was a step towards a future where Zamunda and the United States stood united in mutual respect and cooperation. As they traversed the vast landscapes and bustling cities of America, the King and Queen were met with a warm reception. From the grand halls of Washington, D.C., to the vibrant streets of New York, their presence was celebrated. But behind the smiles and festivities, the agents of MI6 remained ever vigilant, their eyes and ears attuned to any hint of danger. Agent Albert King, with his years of experience, led the security detail with a calm and steady hand. Beside him, Agent David Jones, eager to prove his worth, followed suit, learning from his seasoned partner. Together, they formed an unbreakable shield around the royal couple, ready to face any threat that might arise. The journey was not just a diplomatic mission, it was a testament to the resilience and strength of the Zamundan spirit. As they moved from one engagement to the next, the King and Queen demonstrated their unwavering commitment to their people and their country. And with each passing day, their bond with the United States grew stronger, setting the stage for a future filled with promise and potential. The roar of the jet engines faded as Kenya Airways flight KQ2, bearing the royal insignia of Zamunda, gracefully touched down at New York City's John F. Kennedy International Airport. The plane's descent was a symbol of the merging of two worlds, a bridge between the rich traditions of Zamunda and the bustling modernity of New York City. It was a crisp spring morning, the air alive with the promise of new beginnings. The sun's first rays painted the sky in hues of gold and pink, casting a warm glow over the runway. The city, known for its relentless pace, seemed to pause for a moment, as if acknowledging the significance of the arrival. Inside the aircraft, King Jaffe and Queen Josie, their hearts filled with anticipation, prepared to disembark. The journey had been long, but their spirits were high. They exchanged a glance, a silent communication of shared excitement and determination. This visit was more than a diplomatic mission. It was a chance to forge new alliances and strengthen old ones. They had traded the vibrant hues of their homeland for elegant Western attire, a subtle nod to their host nation. King Jaffe adjusted his tie, while Queen Josie smoothed the fabric of her dress. Their attire was a blend of tradition and modernity, reflecting their respect for their hosts while staying true to their roots.
This is it, Josie. A new chapter for Zamunda and for us. The weight of his words hung in the air, a reminder of the responsibilities they carried and the hopes of their people.
Indeed, Jaffe. Let's make it a memorable one. Her voice was steady, filled with resolve. They were a team, united in their purpose and vision for the future.
A red carpet, a symbol of respect and welcome, lay unfurled, leading them to the heart of a nation eager to witness their arrival. The carpet stretched out like a path of destiny, guiding them towards their new journey. The world watched, captivated by the image of this regal couple stepping onto American soil. Cameras flashed, capturing the moment for posterity. The crowd, a mix of curious onlookers and dedicated fans, cheered and waved, their excitement palpable. For King Jaffe, it was a moment of pride, a testament to Zamunda's growing influence on the global stage. He waved to the crowd, his smile reflecting the pride he felt for his country and its achievements. For Queen Josie, it was a homecoming of sorts, a return to a land she had once navigated as an agent of the FBI. Her steps were confident, her gaze steady. She was no stranger to the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead.
Eyes sharp, David. This is where things get interesting. The voice was calm, but carried an undertone of urgency. The security team knew that their vigilance was crucial.
Understood, Albert. I've got your 6. The response was immediate, a testament to their training and readiness. They were prepared for any eventuality.
But amidst the pomp and ceremony, a current of caution ran through their security detail. The agents were on high alert, their senses heightened. They knew that in such high-profile events, the unexpected was always a possibility. Agent Albert King, a seasoned veteran of MI6, scanned the crowd with the practiced eye of someone who knew appearances could be deceiving. His experience had taught him to trust his instincts and to be prepared for anything. Beside him, Agent David Jones, newer to the field but no less vigilant, mirrored his partner's attentiveness. Despite his relative inexperience, David had proven himself to be a quick learner and a reliable team member. Their mission was clear: to ensure the safety of their charges, no matter the cost. They moved with precision, their formation a testament to their training and coordination. As the royal entourage swept past the throngs of onlookers and into the sanctuary of their waiting motorcade, the City of Dreams embraced them. The motorcade, a symbol of protection and prestige, moved smoothly through the streets, flanked by security vehicles. New York, a melting pot of cultures and ambitions, seemed to hold its breath, anticipating the unfolding of this diplomatic dance. The city's skyline, a testament to human ingenuity and aspiration, stood as a backdrop to this historic moment. Little did anyone know, the rhythm of their visit was about to be disrupted, throwing them into a whirlwind of unforeseen events. The tension in the air was almost tangible, a prelude to the challenges and surprises that lay ahead. The stage was set for a series of events that would test their resolve and unity, pushing them to their limits and beyond.
The music, once a soothing melody enhancing the romantic ambiance, was abruptly cut short. The sudden silence was jarring, like a needle scratching across a vinyl record, leaving an eerie void where moments before there had been harmony. Musicians exchanged bewildered glances, their instruments still in hand, as if unsure whether to continue or to flee. The audience, too, was caught in a moment of suspended disbelief, their applause frozen in midair.
An unsettling silence descended upon the opulent dining room, only to be shattered moments later by the piercing shriek of the fire alarm. The once lively chatter of guests, discussing business deals and romantic escapades, was replaced by a cacophony of alarm bells and the rustling of expensive fabrics as people turned towards the source of the disturbance. Crystal glasses clinked as they were hastily set down, and the soft glow of candlelight flickered ominously. Startled guests, their conversations interrupted, exchanged confused glances. Faces that had been animated with laughter and conversation now mirrored a collective anxiety. The waitstaff, who had been gliding effortlessly between tables, now stood frozen, their trays laden with gourmet dishes suddenly feeling like burdens. The room, which had moments before been a sanctuary of luxury, now felt like a gilded cage. The air, thick with the aroma of gourmet meals and expensive perfumes, now carried a faint metallic tang, a chilling premonition of danger. It was as if the very essence of the room had shifted, the opulence now a stark contrast to the growing sense of dread. Guests began to sniff the air, their faces contorting in confusion and fear, as if trying to identify an invisible threat. The tension was palpable, a silent scream that echoed through the room.
Downstairs, in the grand lobby of the Ritz Carlton, chaos reigned. The once serene and welcoming space had transformed into a scene of pandemonium. Guests, who had been leisurely checking in or out, now rushed in all directions, their faces masks of panic. The staff, usually the epitome of calm and efficiency, were now struggling to maintain order, their voices raised in a futile attempt to be heard over the din. The grandeur of the lobby, with its marble floors and crystal chandeliers, now seemed almost mocking in the face of such disorder. The sharp report of gunshots echoed through the high ceilings, sending shockwaves through the unsuspecting crowd. The sound was deafening, a brutal punctuation mark that shattered any remaining semblance of normalcy. People screamed, their voices a chorus of terror that reverberated off the walls. The echo of the gunshots seemed to linger, a haunting reminder of the violence that had intruded upon their sanctuary.
Panicked screams erupted as guests scrambled for cover, their elegant attire and carefree demeanor forgotten in the face of sudden terror. High heels were abandoned, tuxedos were torn, and jewelry was left behind as people sought refuge behind furniture, under tables, anywhere that might offer a semblance of safety. The elegance of the setting only heightened the surreal nature of the chaos, as if they were actors in a nightmarish play. Hotel staff, trained for such emergencies but never truly prepared for the reality, struggled to maintain order amidst the pandemonium. Their faces, usually composed and professional, now showed signs of strain and fear. They tried to guide guests to safety, their voices hoarse from shouting instructions. The training drills they had practiced seemed woefully inadequate in the face of real danger, and the weight of responsibility pressed heavily upon them.
Word spread like wildfire. A gunman was loose in the hotel. Phones buzzed and beeped with emergency alerts, and frantic whispers turned into urgent conversations. Guests huddled together, their faces illuminated by the glow of their screens, as they tried to piece together what was happening. The realization that they were in the midst of a life-threatening situation hit them like a physical blow, and the atmosphere grew even more charged with fear. The gravity of the situation was not lost on anyone. Faces that had been relaxed and carefree were now etched with worry and fear. The staff, who had always been the epitome of calm and control, now showed signs of stress and anxiety. The air was thick with tension, and every sound seemed amplified, every movement fraught with potential danger. The hotel, once a haven of luxury and tranquility, had become a battleground.
This was not a drill, not a movie, but a terrifying intrusion of violence into their sanctuary of luxury and privilege. The flashing lights of emergency vehicles outside cast an eerie glow through the windows, adding to the surreal atmosphere. Guests clung to each other, their faces pale and eyes wide with fear. The realization that their lives were in danger was a stark contrast to the opulence that surrounded them, and the juxtaposition was almost too much to bear. As fear gripped the hearts of those trapped inside, the outside world was rapidly becoming aware of the unfolding crisis. News channels interrupted their regular programming to broadcast live updates, and social media was flooded with posts and videos from those inside the hotel. The world watched in real time as the situation unfolded, their hearts going out to the terrified guests and staff. The sense of helplessness was palpable as people around the globe waited for news of their loved ones. News helicopters circled overhead, their cameras capturing the frantic scene below, broadcasting images of fear and uncertainty to a global audience. The aerial views showed the scale of the crisis, with emergency vehicles surrounding the hotel and crowds of onlookers gathered outside. The footage was both mesmerizing and horrifying, a stark reminder of the fragility of safety and the ever-present threat of violence.
The very symbol of opulence and tranquility, the Ritz Carlton had become a fortress under siege, its gilded cage rattled by an unseen threat. The contrast between the luxurious exterior and the chaos within was striking, a visual representation of the shattered illusion of safety. The red emergency lights cast an ominous glow, and the once grand lobby now felt like a prison. The sense of violation was profound, as if the very soul of the hotel had been tainted by the violence.
As the minutes ticked by, each one an eternity for those trapped within, a chilling question hung in the air. Who was this gunman, and what did he want? The uncertainty was almost unbearable, and every second felt like a lifetime. The fear of the unknown gnawed at the edges of their sanity, and the tension was so thick it was almost tangible. The clock seemed to mock them with its relentless ticking, a reminder of the time slipping away. The answer, when it finally came, would send shockwaves far beyond the walls of the besieged hotel, drawing a queen back into the shadows of her past and setting in motion a chain of events with international implications. The revelation would be a turning point, not just for those trapped inside the hotel, but for the world at large. The Queen, a figure of grace and dignity, would find herself thrust back into the spotlight, her past and present colliding in a way that would change the course of history. The news reporters, who had been covering the crisis with bated breath, would find themselves at the center of a story that would captivate the world. The events of that night would be remembered for years to come, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace and the ever-present threat of violence.
The insistent buzz of her phone vibrated against Queen Josie's silk gown, a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding around her. The FBI, their messages urgent and cryptic, painted a grim picture of the situation downstairs. A hostage situation. Demands made. Time, a precious commodity slipping away.
But amidst the fear and uncertainty, a flicker of recognition ignited within her. Abu Bakr. The name echoed through the corridors of her memory, a ghost from a past life she thought she'd left behind.
Josie Jackson, FBI agent, not Queen Josie Joffer, knew the weight of such situations. She had stared down danger before, her resolve tempered in the fires of countless investigations. The woman who had once navigated the treacherous underbelly of international crime felt a familiar surge of adrenaline, a primal instinct to protect and to serve.
But how could she reconcile her current role, the epitome of grace and diplomacy, with the instincts of a trained operative? The answer, as clear as the chime of her phone, lay in action. This was not the time for royal decorum, for diplomatic niceties. Lives were at stake, and she, Josie Joffer, Queen of Zamunda, possessed the skills and the knowledge to make a difference.
With a subtle nod to her security detail, a silent acknowledgement of the shared understanding that transcended words, she excused herself from the room.
The weight of the situation pressed upon her, yet her step was steady, her gaze unwavering. The woman who walked towards the unknown was no longer just a queen, but a warrior. Her crown, a symbol of strength. Her resolve, forged in the fires of duty and compassion. The time for diplomacy had passed. The hour for action had arrived. And Queen Josie Joffer was ready to answer the call. As she walked, memories of her childhood in Zamunda flooded her mind. The days spent learning the ways of her people, the lessons in leadership from her father, the late King Joffer. He had always told her that true strength lay not in power, but in the courage to act when it mattered most. She remembered the rigorous training sessions, the self-defense classes, and the countless hours spent honing her skills. Her father had insisted that she be prepared for any situation, and now those lessons were about to be put to the ultimate test. "Josie," her father would say, "a true leader must be ready to face any challenge, to protect their people at all costs." His words echoed in her mind, strengthening her resolve. She paused for a moment, catching her reflection in a grand mirror. The woman staring back at her was a blend of the past and the present, a fusion of the FBI agent and the Queen. She was ready. Her security team, loyal and steadfast, fell into step behind her. They had seen her in action before, knew of her capabilities, and trusted her judgment implicitly. There was no need for words. Their shared history spoke volumes. As they moved towards the Situation Room, Josie began to formulate a plan. She needed to assess the situation, understand the demands, and find a way to resolve it without bloodshed. Her mind raced through various scenarios, each more complex than the last. The stakes were high, but she was determined to find a solution. She knew that every second counted, and that the lives of the hostages depended on her ability to think clearly and act decisively. Drawing on her inner strength, she steeled herself for the task ahead. This was not just about saving lives, it was about proving to herself and to her people that she was worthy of the crown she wore. With each step, her resolve grew stronger. She was not just a queen, not just an FBI agent. She was a leader, a protector, and a warrior, and she would not rest until the situation was resolved. Taking a deep breath, she prepared herself for the confrontation ahead. The time for reflection was over. The time for action had come, and Queen Josie Joffer was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As she approached the Situation Room, her stride was confident, her gaze unwavering. She was ready to lead, ready to protect, and ready to act. The fate of the hostages, and perhaps the future of her kingdom, rested in her hands. And with that final thought, she stepped into the room, ready to face the challenge head-on. For she was Queen Josie Joffer, and she would not be defeated.
The echoes of gunfire faded into the grand architecture of the Ritz Carlton, replaced by the hushed whispers of relief and the clatter of silverware as the hotel tentatively resumed its rhythm of luxury.
The air, thick with tension only moments ago, now carried the scent of fresh brewed coffee and the gentle murmur of conversations resuming. Guests, shaken but safe, emerged from their rooms, their faces etched with the vivid memory of the ordeal,
The efficient hum of normalcy returning to the iconic hotel belied the extraordinary events that had transpired. The shattered glass, the hastily erected barricades, served as stark reminders of the fragility of peace, even in the heart of a bustling metropolis.
Yet, amidst the remnants of chaos, there was an undercurrent of gratitude, a shared sense of relief that the worst had been averted. Unseen, unheard, Agent Albert King and Agent David Jones melted back into the shadows, their presence no longer required, their duty fulfilled. The weight of their actions, the lives saved, rested heavily on their shoulders, a burden borne with the quiet professionalism that defined their profession. Their world was one of silent vigilance, of unseen threats neutralized, of order restored from the brink of chaos.
As the sun dipped below the New York City skyline, casting long shadows across Central Park, the Ritz Carlton stood tall, a symbol of resilience, a testament to the human capacity to overcome adversity.
The events of the day would forever be etched in the hotel's history, a stark reminder of the ever-present potential for chaos. But for now, there was peace, a fragile tranquility restored. The city that never sleeps had faced its demons and emerged, shaken but unbroken.